you to understand a few tips and tricks that will help you to master your Duolingo test. We will first be beginning by understanding the overall structure of the Duolingo exam, and then we will move on to a few simple tips which will help you to get big results. So, to start with, let's understand what is the Duolingo exam and what makes the Duolingo exam unique. First of all, it is very important for all of you to understand that your Duolingo exam is a computer-based adaptive test taken from home, anywhere, anytime. It is a complete 100% computer-based test and it is adaptive. Now, adaptive means that the level of difficulty of the questions either increases or decreases depending upon the way you perform. If you are performing very well and all your answers are going correct, the level of difficulty will increase. That means you are scoring good. If you are giving all the answers incorrect, the level of difficulty will fall, it will reduce, which means you are scoring bad. There is one advantage of the Duolingo exam that you can take it from your home or anywhere you are, anytime. So you just have to book the exam and you get a time frame that you have to complete it within that time frame, which might be 3 to 4 days also. Since it is an adaptive test, the difficulty of questions adapts to the way you answer, as I said. You don't know which question type will come first. Although all the four modules are tested, that is reading, writing, listening, and speaking, but this might be a little confusing that the order of the questions is not fixed. So you might have one speaking question followed by 2 reading and then 3 listening and then 1 again reading or speaking. The order is not fixed. It is affordable and is just 1 hour long. It is comparatively reasonable than the other English proficiency tests, and it is also shorter, just 1 hour. It includes both graded and non-graded sections. So the non-graded sections will not comprise of your scores, but still you need to take care of them. You need to be careful about them. It is not that you can just say anything in those non-graded sections also. You should be careful about them as well. And the best part is that the results are comparatively faster. That means you get the results within 24 hours. So these are the basic things that you all should know about the Duolingo exam, that it is adaptive, can be taken from anywhere, anytime. The level of difficulty adapts to the way you answer the questions. You don't know the sequence of the questions is not fixed. It is only 1 hour long and the results are available in 24 hours, which is very good. I mean, the sooner, the better. Moving ahead, what is the Duolingo exam and what makes it unique? Right. Now, first, you will always receive this welcome message on your screen. Welcome to the Duolingo English Test. This test will assess your language proficiency in listening, reading, writing, and speaking. Follow the instructions carefully and try your best. Good luck. This welcome message will always be there on your screen. After that, the instructions part will be there. This test consists of 3 sections. A graded adaptive test. Graded adaptive is the one that I was telling you about just now, that you get scores for that, and the level of difficulty of the questions is adapted to the way you answer the questions. A non-graded writing sample. So here you will have to write about a topic, but it is non-graded. And a non-graded speaking sample. This is also non-graded, for which you will be speaking the answers. Please ensure you are in a quiet environment. Make sure that there is no one in the room, no background noises, no one to disturb you at all. You can navigate through the test using the next button. Every time you have submitted a question or you're done with a question, you always have to go to the next button, click it so that you can go to the next question. So these instructions will always be there, but if you are already aware of them, if you already know about them, that makes you feel mentally at peace, right? So the welcome message followed by the instructions. Moving ahead, how to adapt your preparation for the Duolingo test. Now, although the level of difficulty adapts to the way you answer the questions, these are some of the tips and tricks that you should follow to be able to get a very good score. Understand the test format. You should have practiced very well. You should know the structure of the test. You should know what type of questions are asked to you. You need to develop all the 4 skills: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. All the 4 skills are tested. And as it is, any English proficiency test is a test. So you need to be prepared to some extent. Use Duolingo's practice tools, whatever tools are available, whatever practice tests are available online, do practice them. Read the instructions carefully. The instructions for every question might be different. So you need to read them carefully. Do not assume that you already know the instructions. So it's okay. Even if I don't read it, no. That attitude should not be there. Use context clues. Many a times there will be things that will not be clear to you. So you might have to use context clues for that. Focus on adaptive learning. Now, while practicing also, it is important that you practice a test which adapts to the level of your understanding. So when practicing, try to take the actual real practice tests that adapt the level of the question where it adapts to the way you answer it. Practice speaking and writing. Speaking and writing comprise of the score for production, which is where most of the students struggle because you have to generate content. So speaking and writing should be practiced specifically. Enhance your vocabulary because in a few questions, you have to imagine, you have to predict the words that are not completely given to you. So it is very important that you know the words, you are well aware of good vocabulary words. Simulate test conditions. You should have the practice of working or answering questions in a simulated time frame, because Duolingo is a completely time-based paper for which you will not get extra time. It will not be that even 1 second extra. No. Manage time effectively. You need to understand that if it is 40 seconds, how much time do you want to spend on the beginning, the middle, or the end? You need to understand how to divide your time effectively. Seek feedback. While practicing, make sure that you receive feedback from someone who is experienced and knows how to recognize your weaker areas and how to help you to improve them. Stay calm and confident. That exam phobia is always there in every age, but try to remain calm and confident, because if you get nervous, you will fumble. And if you fumble, you will lose marks. So these are the things that you should practice to be able to perform well. You need to understand the test structure, practice all the 4 skills: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. You need to practice from a genuine tool which will help you to understand that what exactly is an adaptive test. You should have proper feedback for what you're doing. Speaking and writing needs to be focused more because this is where most of the students struggle. That is the content part. You should have good knowledge of vocabulary words and try to remain calm and confident. Okay, this is the assessment criteria of the Duolingo exam. The Duolingo is not only adaptive, but it is also integrated. Integrated means that you get scores for more than one skill at a time. These are the 4 scores that you get. Literacy is your ability to read and write. So when I talk about literacy, you are being judged for your ability to read and write. Comprehension is your ability to read and listen. So you are being judged for your reading and listening skills. Conversation is your ability to listen and speak. Production is your ability to write and speak. And as I already said, this is the part where most of the students struggle. The reason being that you have to generate content. You need a lot of content, you need a lot of information. It might be just one picture that you might have to describe. But when you describe the picture, how to generate content, that is very important. You will be getting these 4 scores: literacy, comprehension, conversation, production, which will be added up and divided by 4 to give you your final score. Okay. Now, the Duolingo scores are always out of 160. All scores are on the scale of 10 to 160. So reading is 10 to 160, writing is 10 to 160, and so is listening and speaking. At the end, as I said, that you get one composite score, that is your overall score. There are 4 sub-scores: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Literacy, as I said, is your reading and writing skills. Comprehension is listening and reading skills. Conversation is your speaking and listening skills score. And production is your speaking and writing skills score. So this is how you are scored for the Duolingo exam. 4 scores at each out of 10 to 160 on the scale of 10 to 160. At the end, adding up all these and dividing it by 4, you get your final score. As I said that it is an adaptive scoring test. The test uses an AI-based scoring system, which adapts to your skill level in real time. If you answer correctly, the next question gets harder, but this means that you are scoring well. If you answer incorrectly, the next question gets easier. That means you are scoring poor. Your scores are going down. This ensures the test efficiently determines your English proficiency without being too long or repetitive. This is the adaptive scoring system where the level of difficulty of the next question depends on your answer, whether it is correct or incorrect. That is the reason we always say that the Duolingo exam is an adaptive and integrated paper. This is an example of the sub-scores and the overall score. The overall score is determined by Duolingo proprietary algorithm. They have their own algorithm on the basis of which you get your scores. These are the sub-scores. So if your sub-score for literacy is 110, comprehension is 120, conversation is 100, production is 90, they will add these 4 and then divide them by 4, and overall you will get 115. This is the final score that is submitted to the universities or the authorities. But of course, you will get all these details as well, so that you know that if you have not scored well, what is the area where you lost. This is the sub-scores and the overall score. Let's move ahead with a few tips and tricks for important question types. First is read aloud. Now, in read aloud questions, what happens is you get to see a sentence on your screen and you have to read the sentence loudly, clearly, in the microphone. The timer is always here on the top right corner. The word counter is always here in the middle at the bottom. So these are a few examples of read aloud questions. In read aloud questions, as I said, that you have to be loud. Loud does not mean that you have to raise your pitch. Loud means that there should be clarity in your voice. It should be loud enough so that the system is able to record your voice. The recording is of the correct words is very important. You need to modulate your voice. You need to specifically lay stress on important words. You need to take care of your intonation. You need to take care of your weak and your strong vowels. So now, if this is the sentence, let's see what is the correct way to read it. The sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Chunking is very important. It is another important thing that you need to take care of. Chunking means putting the words in the correct parcel. That is the appropriate place to have pauses. A quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So I'm taking proper pauses. I am putting more force of breath on important words to modulate my voice. She sells seashells by the seashore. They will definitely give you such rhyming words to check the clarity of your sound when it comes to s, sh, or ch, k. These will add to your pronunciation. The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain. So tongue twisters need to be practiced. Clarity of your voice needs to be practiced. Be natural and be at your own accent. Take care of your modulation, your intonation, and chunking. All these things will come with practice, and the practice needs to be done under a proper trained person who can give you the correct feedback and tell you the different ways to improve yourself. These were read aloud questions where the sentence will be there in front of you on your screen and you will have to read it. Okay, now the tips and tricks for the next set of questions: read and write. As the name itself suggests, that you read a topic and then you write about the topic. So this is an example. Traveling is an exciting experience that allows people to explore new cultures and places. Write about a trip you have taken and what you enjoyed the most about it. Now, this is a personal experience that you have to write about. So there are two things that have been asked to you: that the trip that you've already taken and the things that you enjoyed the most. Write a short response to the prompt, minimum 50 words. Of course, you should never ever go below the minimum, but you should try to be closer to the maximum. So if he is asking you about, if the system is asking you about a place that you have traveled, always start with 2 to 3 introductory sentences by saying that, by writing that I am the kind of person who likes to travel a lot. During the course of my career or my life, I have traveled to a lot of places, but the place that I enjoyed the most was Manali. So when I come on to that, I will start talking about Manali. It's a beautiful place with breathtaking views of lovely mountains, the amazing sunset, the cuisine, the culture of the place, the traditions, the kind of clothing, the language of the people, right? And out of these, the best part was that I enjoyed was the cuisine of Manali. The flavors, the spices that were used in the food were authentic. And I had never ever tasted anything like that. So something or the other that you enjoyed the most should be there. Always remember to specifically answer the question that has been asked to you. This is something which is important. If I miss out answering that question, I might lose marks. So your content will matter here, and this is what is known for your production. This is the area where most of the students lose marks because they struggle with the content generation part when they are not able to describe, when they are not able to put their ideas to words. So you need a lot of good practice for this. So this was all about the Duolingo and discussing a few questions, how to practice them, how to go about them. For more doubts, for more queries, feel free to contact us on the website of yunolearning.com. We have a lot of practice papers. We have a lot of content that we would love to share with you. And we have a lot of trained instructors who would train you, who would help you to understand how to answer the different types of questions. Thank you so much and all the very best for your Duolingo exam. Thank you.